Being a founder, it's all about uncertainty, right? But what if you could actually turn that chaos into your biggest advantage? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the core principles from the 12-day mini MBA to help you build a totally new operating system for your startup, one that's actually designed to last.
I mean, the stakes for a startup are just sky high, and this quote really nails the core problem. Think about it. Most failures aren't because people aren't working hard enough. It's because there's no system. Without a solid framework, all that blood, sweat, and tears can just lead straight to burnout instead of a breakthrough.
And this is pitched as the antidote. The idea here is that this isn't just another book full of motivational quotes. No, it's a complete operating system designed from the ground up to build companies that actually compound in value over time.
But before we can get there, we have to talk about something the source calls the hustle porn mythology. You've heard it a million times, right? The founder sleeping under their desk, glued to their laptop for 80-hour weeks. It sounds impressive, but it's a dangerous trap. It makes us confuse being busy with making progress. And let's be clear, motion is not momentum.
So what's the big idea we're digging into? It's this absolutely crucial shift from mindless hustle to strategic leverage. It's all about ditching that frantic, busy work for a laser-like strategic focus. This is the key to building something that actually sticks around. Okay, so let's get specific. What is leverage? This isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's a very specific engine for creating scalable value. It means you take all your resources, your time, your money, your focus, and you concentrate them on the tiny handful of activities that give you compounding returns, the ones that grow in value all on their own. I love this analogy because it just nails the difference. Hustle? That's like a crew team rowing their hearts out, but they're headed straight for a waterfall. It's all motion, zero progress. Leverage, on the other hand, is having the map and the compass. It makes sure every single bit of effort is building real momentum and creating lasting value. All right, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Well, that brings us to the first practical tool from the source, the 3 leverage filters. You can think of this as a brand new operating system for your brain, one that helps you decide what really matters every single day.
And here are the 3 big questions you need to ask. Basically, before you dive into any task, you filter it through these tests. First, does it compound, like building a unique data set would? Second, does it create optionality? Hiring a really versatile engineer definitely does. And the third filter is the most ruthless one. Will this matter in a year? Writing a core sales playbook will, but that urgent email that feels so important right now, nope, fails the test. So to make this super practical, you do a weekly audit. You sort your work into these 3 buckets. And look, the goal isn't just to pat yourself on the back for all the Category A high leverage work. The real win? It's about being absolutely ruthless with Category C. All those tasks that scream urgent, but are really just faking progress. You got to eliminate them. Okay, so prioritizing the right work, that's half the battle. The other half, it's making decisions about that work, but doing it way faster and smarter. It's a classic founder's paradox, right? You have to move at lightning speed, but you can't afford to make a mistake that sinks the ship. The two-way door system is how you solve that. And the name of the game here is increasing what the book calls decision velocity. And no, this is not about being reckless. It's about getting smart and optimizing how fast your organization learns by realizing that not all decisions carry the same weight. So the whole framework is brilliantly simple. It splits all decisions into just 2 types. One-way doors are the big, irreversible ones, like signing term sheets or picking your core tech stack. You walk through that door and there's no coming back. So you go slow, you're deliberate. But most decisions, they're two-way doors. You can walk right back through if you mess up. Think A/B tests or feature sprints. The rule here is to move fast. Go with about 70% of the info you wish you had. And this is such a powerful mindset shift. Getting a two-way door decision wrong isn't a failure. Think of it as cheap tuition. You learn something incredibly valuable for a low price. But delaying that decision, procrastinating on it, that's just throwing away a chance to learn. You get nothing. Okay, so let's connect the dots. You're focusing on high-leverage work. You're making smarter, faster decisions. What does that actually build? It starts to build a real, defensible, competitive advantage, what the source material calls a modern moat. The whole idea of a competitive moat has really evolved. It's not just about having the most money anymore. Today's strongest moats are built with things that are way more agile and a lot harder for your competition to copy, things like speed and insight. And the source breaks it down into 4 modern moats.
First is speed, just learning and adapting faster than everyone else. Then there's insight, from data nobody else has. Third is trust, which is that hard-earned brand credibility. And finally, owned distribution, which means you have a direct line to your audience, no middlemen.
So, let's double-click on that speed moat. What's the engine that powers it? It's this concept called the OODA loop. It's a super fast cycle. You observe what's happening, you orient yourself to what the data means, you decide on a hypothesis, and you act on it immediately. The company that can spin through this loop faster than its rivals builds a learning advantage that is almost impossible to catch. When you put all these pieces together, leverage, decision velocity, modern moats, you start to realize something profound. It totally reframes what a founder's job actually is. And spoiler alert, it is not to be the hardest worker in the room.
And this quote just hits it home perfectly. See, building a game-changing company isn't about who can survive on the least amount of sleep. It's about who can exercise the most precise judgment. Your attention, that's your most critical, non-renewable resource. And where you point it is literally what decides your company's fate.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's about a fundamental shift in your identity as a founder. You have to stop being the reactive operator, the chief firefighter who's always putting out the next blaze. You have to become the proactive architect of value. Your real job is to design the systems, the filters, and the moats that let your company win.
So, I want to leave you with the same provocative question the source does. Take a hard look at your to-do list, your team's weekly report, everything, and ask yourself this, honestly. Is all this activity just motion? Or are you truly, strategically building momentum? Because the difference between those two, well, it's everything.